The battles moved to the blitz time control on the fourth day of the Grand Chess Tour in Paris. Instead of 20 minutes with a 10-second delay, the players now had only 5 minutes and a 3-second delay to make their moves. And after 18 grueling rounds, dramatic changes occurred on the leaderboard. At the conclusion of the first day of Blitz, tournament leader Wesley So was overtaken as the sole leader for the first time in the event by Sergey Karjakin. But by the end of the 18th round, even Karjakin was unable to keep his lead, as Hikaru Nakamura, almost out of the blue, stepped up and conquered the field. Nakamura, being presented the trophy. Image credit, Leonard Otis. When the Blitz started, however, it was hard to even count Nakamura as a serious contender. Of course, he was always lurking around, but it was Karjakin's mind-boggling 5-game winning streak that overshadowed everything else. After a quiet draw against Nakamura in his opening game, Karjakin defeated Grueling, So, Caruana and Anand in his next 6 games, striding past Wesley So on the leaderboard. Karjakin's winning spree was halted in the 7th round when Maxime Vichier-Lagrave, with merely 10 seconds remaining on the clock, defeated the 2016 World Blitz champion. Vichier-Lagrave was a full piece up in this game, but the little time remaining on his clock gave his opponent much hope to try and survive. Karjakin was trying to set up a fortress that he hoped his opponent would not be able to break with the limited time he had. But MVL was on his toes in this game, utilized his knight and rook to the fullest to bring home the full point. Karjakin came back strongly, winning his next game against Iranian, but had to finish the day with another disappointing loss against Shahryar Mamedyarov, where Karjakin, quite shockingly, blundered a full piece. By this point, Nakamura had clearly surfaced as a potential contender. Having scored 5.5 points out of his first 9 Blitz games, the American Grandmaster had surpassed the winner of the rapid leg, Wesley So, to take clear second place. He was, however, still a full point behind Karjakin. On the final day, Nakamura's strategy was simple. He didn't want to mess with the informed players. He was happy to hold on to a draw against them and pick out on those who were struggling. His wins came against Anand, Grueling, Mamedyarov and Caruana, all of whom had finished in the bottom half. He drew the rest of his games, taking his total to 23-36, 12/18 in Blitz. In this time, Karjakin began to struggle. While Nakamura had scored 4 wins on the final day, Karjakin could score only 1. And that one win came against his compatriot, GM Vladimir Kramnik. He also lost 2 important games on the final day, which further deteriorated his tournament standing. For the only Indian in the fray, Viswanathan Anand, the Blitz leg of the event brought terrible results for the most part. In all of his 18 games, Anand was only able to eke out 3 wins, against Grueling on the first day and 1 against Caruana and Sergey Karjakin on the final day. Against Grueling, a sharp Sicilian edge dwarf had fizzled out in an endgame where both sides had 2 rooks, a minor piece and a bunch of pawns. Even though material was equal, Anand, with his extra space, surely had a slight edge, nothing too serious, though. But some inaccuracies by Grueling changed the evaluation of the position from slightly better for white to completely winning in a matter of merely 3 moves. Anand was quick to realize this and instantly liquidated into a clearly winning king and pawn endgame to force resignation by move 41. Anand began the second day of Blitz with a win in the very first round. Playing with the white pieces in a closed Spanish opening, Anand had nothing to worry about for the most part of the game. But as the clock began to tick, Anand made a fatal error on his 42nd move, and what was an equal position turned into a disastrous one. However, Anand wasn't the only one in time trouble. Caruana missed the outright knockout punch in the time scramble. Nevertheless, his position was still clearly winning. But then, what happened on the 51st move was utterly inexplicable. All Caruana needed to do was reach the white pawn on the queen side and capture it. Of course, Caruana saw this but chose the wrong route. Here, he played the unfortunate 51, kd7. Until this point, Black's bishop was immune from being captured by the Black Knight as the pawn on c2 was only one step away from queening. But Caruana's last move allowed Anand to capture with check and leave resignation the only option for Caruana. Anand's game against Karjakin had a big impact on the overall standings. Image credit, Leonardo Otis. Anand's third and final win of the tournament also had a big impact on the standings as he defeated one of the biggest contenders for the title, Sergey Karjakin, in the 15th round of Blitz. Karjakin was leading the tournament alone until this point, but after this loss against Anand, the Russian GM was caught in the lead by Hikaru Nakamura. This game was also a closed Spanish opening. Anand, who had the white pieces, had emerged with a slightly better position out of the opening, and soon, Karjakin began to stumble. On his 23rd turn, Karjakin blundered by allowing his opponent gain a strong passed pawn on the queen side. It wasn't possible to stop Anand from queening his pawn until Black accepted a ruinous loss of material. Karjakin limped on for a few moves but resigned eventually on move 31. This was the beginning of Karjakin's fall. He lost another game immediately after this one to Maxime Vachier-Lagrave and drew his final two games against Aronian and Mamedyarov respectively to finish joint third in the Blitz with a score of 10.5-18. He also lost his overall lead of the event to Hikaru Nakamura in the process. Nakamura won his final two games against Mamedyarov and Caruana to increase his lead over Karjakin by 1.5 points to bag the title prize in the Paris leg of the Grand Chess Tour. Anand's performance in Paris was definitely not the best, but in comparison to Leuven, the Madras Tiger has done much better in terms of both overall score and tournament standing. In Leuven, Anand had finished 8th overall with a total score of 14.536, while in Paris, he has scored 1736 and has finished 6th. Aditya Pai is an editor at Chess Base India. Updated date, June 26, 2018, 12:33 p.m.